The rain that night felt alive. It lashed against the windows of a cramped two-room apartment in Johannesburg, thunder echoing like God himself was trying to intervene. Naomi sat on the edge of the couch, her hands trembling over her swollen belly. 8 months pregnant. Her dreams were supposed to be different. A warm home, a gentle husband, laughter echoing through the halls. But across from her stood Isaiah, arms crossed, face like carved stone. "Naomi," he said, his voice trembling with something colder than fear, pride. "I can't do this no more." Her heart skipped. "Can't do what? We're about to have a baby, Isaiah." He turned his back. "That's your baby now. I got plans. I can't be chained." "Chained?" Naomi's voice cracked. "You're running from love, not chains." Isaiah grabbed his duffel bag. "Love don't pay rent. Love don't buy dreams. I got an offer to work construction in Cape Town. Big money. I ain't wasting my life here." Naomi stood, desperate. "You'll leave your own blood?" He paused at the door, rainwater running down the frame like tears. For a moment, she thought she saw guilt flicker in his eyes. Then he was gone. The sound of that door slamming became the ghost that haunted her for years. Naomi gave birth alone. The hospital lights were blinding, but when she held her baby boy, dark curls, soft brown skin, she whispered, "Elijah, you'll never have to beg love to stay." She worked nights cleaning offices, days sewing clothes for neighbors, her hands cracked, but her spirit unbroken. Every laugh from Elijah was a note of healing, but beneath her smile, Naomi carried a vow. "He may have left us, Elijah, but God ain't done writing this story." 10 years later, Isaiah's name appears again, not on her doorstep, but on the evening news. 10 years rolled by like weary miles. Elijah grew, sharp-eyed, curious, good-hearted. He had Naomi's kindness and the fierce determination of a child who saw too much struggle too soon. One evening, Naomi was wiping down a diner counter after closing. The small TV above the grill flickered with the evening report. Local businessman Isaiah Carter charged an investment fraud case. Naomi froze. The camera showed him, older, suit crumpled, face hollowed by regret. That name, that voice, the man who had walked away. She felt no joy in his downfall, only a quiet ache. Meanwhile, Elijah was thriving in school. He was good with computers, numbers, and dreams too big for their little apartment. "Mama," he said one night, "one day I'll build something that changes lives." And he did. By 22, Elijah was a rising star in the world of tech startups, apps that connected people in underserved communities with healthcare and small business loans. His company, RiseLink, was gaining national attention. Naomi, now older and slowing down, watched him beam on TV. The son of a man who abandoned him, standing tall, giving others the chance his mother never had. But one night, the past came clawing back. Elijah was preparing for a charity gala when his assistant walked in with a message. "Someone is asking for financial help through our foundation. He says he knows your mother. Name's Isaiah Carter." Elijah froze. The name meant nothing to him, but something in his mother's old stories stirred. "Let me see his case," he said quietly. The file was tragic. Isaiah Carter, 55, unemployed, suffering from late-stage kidney failure. He needed an expensive transplant surgery. No insurance, no family support. Elijah stared at the photo. It was like looking into a darker reflection of himself. He didn't know it yet, but the man whose life he was about to change had once left his mother to face the world alone. That night, Elijah went home and asked his mother softly, "Mama, did you ever know a man named Isaiah Carter?" Naomi's face drained of color. She gripped the table. The past had found them again. Naomi whispers, trembling, "That's your father, Elijah, and he's dying." Elijah sat in silence. The air between them felt electric, charged with 1,000 unspoken emotions. "He left us, baby," Naomi said softly. "I begged him to stay. He chose the world instead of us." Elijah's jaw tightened, and now he's begging us to save him. Naomi sighed. God has a way of circling life back around. Elijah spent that night thinking, staring at old photos of his mom, her tired hands, her unbroken smile. He thought about the man who had walked away from that strength and the son who had inherited. The next morning, Elijah drove to the hospital. Room 314. The sound of machines filled the air. Isaiah lay there, frail, gray at the edges, eyes shut. When they opened, they found Elijah's. He gasped, "You look familiar." Elijah's voice was calm, almost gentle. "I should. I'm Elijah." Isaiah's lips trembled. "Naomi's boy." "Yes," Elijah said. "The one you left." Isaiah's eyes filled with tears. "Son, I made mistakes. Thought money meant freedom, but I lost everything that ever mattered." Elijah stood still. "You didn't just lose us, sir. You threw us away." A long silence. Then Isaiah whispered, "I don't expect forgiveness. I just don't want to die like this." Elijah turned toward the window. The city below pulsed with life. His city, built from the pain this man caused. He thought of his mother's words, "Don't let hate write your story." He turned back. "You won't. The foundation will cover your surgery. No conditions." Isaiah's eyes widened. "Why?" Elijah smiled sadly. "Because I was raised by the woman you broke, and she taught me grace." A week later, the surgery succeeded. Isaiah's body began to heal. Naomi visited, hesitant at first. The two of them sat in silence for a long time before Isaiah finally whispered, "You still pray, Naomi?" She nodded. "Use every day, even for you." He wept, not from pain, but from the unbearable mercy of being forgiven. Months passed. Elijah's company grew, his mother's laughter returned, and Isaiah volunteered at a local youth center, teaching young men not to repeat his mistakes. Life had found its circle. One evening, as the three sat together for dinner for the first time in 25 years, Naomi looked at Isaiah and said quietly, "You walked out thinking you were running towards your future. You didn't know. Your future was still in me." Isaiah smiled faintly, tears in his eyes. "And in him." Elijah lifted his glass, to second chances, and to debts paid in love. The rain began again outside, soft this time, not like a storm, but like a blessing.